Okay, let me just make sure that we are live everywhere where we need to be live. Okay, looks like we're good. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. And today I come at you at 12:30 because 12:30 is a special show. It's a show where the breadwinners, the people who contribute towards the show financially and who I have a lot of fights and conversations with daily, get to run the show and pick the subject and speak about the show. It's a more open show, and it's a perk that I give to my members. If you want to be a member, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then you'll gain access to our WhatsApp group where Fridays we do this on a call, but then also throughout the week, 24/7. We are on it back and forth about whatever we're speaking about on the day. Some of the smartest people I know are in that group, and we have some incredible conversations on that side. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes that I've done, we've had some cracking conversations. They are available in full on YouTube. That's where you'll find them. And also, guys, I do content. I'm a content creator. So if you can just support that content as well, that would be incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it to my members. Guys, how are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Um,
Rapture.
I'm good, eh?
So,
I think I think
uh,
it's impressive how this is not a recorded session, like your introduction, and it's always the same line and the specific format and the specific line, so it's quite interesting.
but anyway, Mara, agent. Uh, so today we're going to speak about Sundowns. We're going to speak about Sundowns' game versus Young Africans coming up tomorrow, and then we're also going to speak about uh, whether Sundowns can repeat. So luckily, I've got two Sundowns fans here. So I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys feel about the Champions League? What do you guys feel about the Young Africans game? I mean, it's a former coach of yours, Mikel Gamondi.
Oh, well, he's an assistant coach. He was never a coach.
I was a co-head coach with Neil Tove, yeah.
Oh, so do you also rate Sputla or your man Godfrey Supula as a coach of ours? Okay. Anyway, he only had nice things to say about us. Né? My bro, you know what? Sundowns should have won the Champions League long time ago, because
Mm,
when we talk about quality, in our squad, it's always been there ever since we won it in 2016, and there's no backdoor shenanigans. It's the rules. I mean, like, if you don't follow the rules, then what are we? We could like we could be end up being called Chiefs fans, because that's pure hooliganism right over there. But my point is, ne, after winning the star, we've always blusted our score. Can't do I see that in Africa?
public holiday.
I hear it's in a holiday England. Now my vocabulary is standing here like Yomo. I Okay, we bought more players to make our squad stronger. And
Mm,
every year I've always had the sense, sorry, we can win this, we can go for it again. But somehow we've always lost. But that was not because of our play. I think when you play in CAF, like, you need to use the tactics that have been used by your likes of TP Mazembe. I agree, TP Mazembe have been doing this funny stuff, and Al
mm,
Ahly. Luckily, Al Ahly have done it, and they've actually won it, and they've proved they can win without those dark magic things. Ne? And
mm,
TP
mm, mm.
Mazembe has been exposed to, without their dark magic, they're actually a mediocre team, right? So,
Allegedly.
not get born. I can go to court. Not get tired. Nice say what I born all down this hill. Kavule, Lawan. So my point is that, ne, Sundowns have been always playing beautiful football, champagne football, shoe shining piano. It looks great on TV, but it doesn't help your cause, because these African teams, they make you feel who you're an African.
Yeah.
Wanhlalo. We
Mm,
don't want
mm,
your European, South American, Muzanzi style of play to make look nice on TV. Here it's all about points. And if you can
mm,
get a point, great. But 3 points is what you want. And
mm,
also, ne, I like what Rulani is doing with the current squad. Yes, we can still play with that champagne football, but now we've become much more aggressive. No team in Africa intimidates us anymore. We've seen it with in our Bafana players as well. So now that I think we've got the balance of that equation, there's nothing literally stopping us from winning this. If we lose this edition of the Champions League, I get then I'm gonna start believing more like a net or consult net.
Okay, okay. Uh, Agent, how do
Um,
you feel about the Champions League and your game versus Younger?
a wise man once said, aren't you tired of seeing us, eh? Hmm? And people were bragging for a week or so. Some is Easter, some sure they're bragging, Eh? Some can even go to the beach. Eh? Aren't you tired? Last week we were playing. On Tuesday we were playing. Saturday we are playing. How, man? Aren't you
The
tired of seeing
Avengers
us?
had to come in for Bafana.
You see, hi, man. Eh? We're always playing, man. Eh? But I think this is the one CAF that I'm confident about. Because I think like I said, it was a symbiotic relationship. My English bundles are still plenty. Eh? They haven't disappeared. Anyways, the symbiotic relationship that Bafana and Sundowns have, in the sense that I think the Sundowns players have grown from the AFCON. I think they have matured a bit. Playing against the very best in the world. So I think that experience, that AFCON experience, will come in handy when you apply it to the CAF experience. And it will be very interesting that, I don't know, sometimes I think maybe it's a mental block. I'm glad that we got a black team, because sometimes I feel like when I play against the Arabs, it's a mental block at some point, especially at this stage of the competition. Not that young guys is an easy proposition. I think they've played well, and we know Makudu Bell is a very good player, Pacey, Tricari, so it's going to be a handful tomorrow, but so yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see. I'm happy with the draw. I'm happy with how the boys have been playing, and I think they've been refreshed, towards the end of December. We're like, this boys are getting tired now, but now I feel like they're more refreshed. I think we saw a fresh Zwane at Bafana. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
And there were private jet trips that were very comfortable. So, come on.
And reading leadership books,
Leadership.
not baby mama dramas on Facebook, but anyway, so not there.
Hey, Mara, you guys are the worst. Kumo, I want to delve deeper into this thing. I mean, Mamelodi Sundowns has been one of the big boys in Africa for almost 10 years now, where it's like a recurring thing. But 2016 was the last time you guys held it. Besides Ditaba Bululu, Ditaba Black Magic, what are some of the things, and I know you mentioned some, but what are some of the things that might be the issue here? That why is it that Ahly can win so many of them, whereas Sundowns, as dominant as you've been, as great as you guys have been over the past 10 years, it's not as expected, if I can put it that way.
Bruh, Al Ahly have been winning this Champions League for the longest of time. And if you're being honest, you can tell for Al Ahly are arrogant on and off the pitch. They're even so arrogant towards your officials. They use intimidation tactics. The thing about Sundowns is that we are a gentleman club, meaning that we go by the rules, we follow the rules to the T, we don't upset anyone. Our talking is always on the football, right? Whereby Al Ahly knows you don't care about beautiful football because they can't play it to save their lives, if we are being honest. They don't care about such impressing. They're only target orientated. And that is why Rulani is always, well, Peter tried to implement it, but obviously he couldn't because he chose to go to Al Ahly. but Rulani actually took it where Pitso left it and actually ran with it. Like not so long ago, like we were complaining here on the show saying that Sundowns doesn't play beautifully anymore. Sundowns won't blow you out of the park anymore with numerous goals in one game. We've learned to be tight at the back. We've learned proper game management because normally when we played, okay, let me tell you how we won the 2016 edition, right? We were motivated, like we've been playing great football and we lost because of I don't know, I can't remember, but I think it was because of goal difference, ne? But when we came back, that motivation sparked something in us to prove to everyone else that we actually deserve to be back. And that was how we could actually go all the way and win the entire thing. So now after that, because of that monkey on our back, we went down because we were always losing at quarterfinals and maybe some semi-finals here and there. And still playing the same way. And people adapt to our system. Now that Rolani saw we lack the killer instincts and we lack on game management. We don't know how to manage and protect a one goal lead. We always relied on we can always outscore you, we can always outperform you, which is true. But in Africa, it doesn't work. It normally works on a league format because the league is a marathon. We fail to understand that the CAF Champions League, although it has the league in its name, but it's still a cup competition. And in cup competition, nobody cares on how good you look. It's all about getting goals and making sure your opponent is defeated and there's no way they can come back to haunt you.
Agent, Lishota guy, man, over the past few years.
Isn't Patu here?
No, Patu said that he's gonna listen. He's in a taxi right now. Yeah.
All right. Cool. I think maybe we missed the chameleon, eh? Some have what is it called? Some have Lisas, Simba band stuff. Other teams have Gogos. Some have the Mutimans. So I think even us, we need something, eh? But I feel like maybe with us, we found the matchbox. Unfortunately, they've taken it away. But anyway, so on a serious note,
our matchbox, it was there. Don't do that, please. They're gonna think we have matchboxes for it. Not ours.
But I think, like I said, I was there. When you drew 2-2 with the Utu I did. Sometimes. I know you're not coaches and everything, but sometimes you see these things, eh? And I always refer back to this, that in the stadium, the general sentiment was Rulani defend, Everybody was shouting at the analyst, tell Rulani to defend, bring in a striker, I mean a defender. And he refused, and immediately we conceded, and I think we could see, I don't know if I'm not being mistaken, but I think it was an EB foul, Everyone could see, man, push Ape into the defensive position and put in a neutral left back there, because they were going there, So some of these things, man, I feel like we're arrogant. We've always been arrogant about the way we play. Right now we have like, hey, and when Guleno was asked actually, this season, would we change how you play so that it suits CAF? It's like, no, we're gonna win it, and we're gonna win it our way. We're gonna prove it to people that we'll win it by our tiki-taka. And there's change tune, because it's like, hey, I think the pressure's on him now. He's already lost the MT8. He has to win the CAF, because I think if he doesn't win it, the next season is his last season. That's why I will, not that they're cynical in nature, but what is this guy? Mangoba are sitting there because they know that, hey, this guy has to win CAF or it's Chai next season, And we have he has learned to win ugly, you know. I don't know if I would say ugly, but I don't like the word ugly because it means you're doing something wrong. But he has learned the dark arts, as you guys call them, you know. The ball boys, you're wasting time. I think we saw that in AFL, you know. And
Your smart
I
fouling
had
that I always
the smart
complain about.
ball, the AB fouls, eh? And I remember he said he wanted um, to deviate a bit. Um, I don't know if people have watched your YouTube video that you uploaded on the technical on Flaming back, you know. But you mentioned something about the importance of a sporting director, you know. Rulani said, but I man, guys, we need a tall striker, you know. We need someone who can play the African football. And he wanted last something, the white tall boy, you know. And it was refused because they're like, "I man, you don't think in as much as maybe you want to win CAF, but I don't think that kind of player would fit in, you know." And the guy's been injured for like 2 months now, you know. So sometimes the importance, the coordination between the technical team and director, you know, because I think these guys don't just look at you, they look your style of play, your injury record. That's the importance of sporting director, you know. And you see those kind of things, you're like, yeah, you are putting yourself under unnecessary pressure because you'd have bought and Lodge, Matthews, that guy, you know,
Esquivel.
Esquivel, you know, and that is in the January, you know, so you have put yourself under unnecessary pressure, you know. Right now, maybe you have a bit of maneuvering and say, hey, I wanted a striker, man. We couldn't find a striker, you know. Shaduli is out of form. You know, you have a bit of maneuvering at least for the next season, you know. So when you have that bit of maneuvering, you can also think clear and not be under pressure because once you're under pressure, you can't think clearly, you know. So I think, yeah, I think we'll be all right. I think the boys have developed, Glenn has developed, and yeah, the dark arts has also developed. So I think, yeah, hence I'm confident.
I think what I like about what Run has done is exactly that. You know, that 2-2 against Wydad, I think it changed a lot of things in his mind, and he's tried to adapt. We've said from the beginning of the season that it feels as though Sundowns is playing an African game. You know, it's not about shoeshine and piano to the nth degree where we're killing you, shower was 6-0. They've realized that you can conserve energy. You can play at I feel like Sundowns' key strength this season is that they can play at a certain level and stay at a certain level. And it's more about taking advantages of your mistakes than actually pulling you out of position and doing all these funny things. They're just patient. It's either you get too excited, I take over and I beat you, or you try defend for the whole game. And when you defend for the whole game, surely there'll be a mistake, one or two of them, and we'll take advantage of those. I think that is one of the strengths of Sundowns this season. And I do think it is geared towards CAF. I do think that these are the requirements that you need to have in order to go win these things. When we watch Al Ahly games, I don't think anybody's saying that Al Ahly is the best playing football team. We're not saying that Wydad is the most incredible, vibrant, what football team. Sometimes it's just about winning. But Kumo, I want to ask you about. I feel as though there's a ruthlessness that Sundowns doesn't have just yet. And I speak of it in two places. Is the Champions League really a do or die thing for his Sundowns? Number one, and as a team, as a club, and in terms of personnel, we know that we did at Al Ahly, you slip up once, you don't win it once or twice, or you end up somewhere, they get rid of you. Is that something that could help or hurt the Sundowns if they were to develop that ruthlessness?
You don't have to be ruthless in order to properly run a team because people respect a leader that is respectful as opposed to someone that they fear. Because if you have that in a team, people will only fear you but will not want to play for you. I'll give you an example because we know how Real Madrid are run like Al Ahly, you know. They don't have time for mistakes. But when you look at the Liverpool, how many times has Liverpool lost? lost with Klopp for the Champions League. I think he lost twice, right? But he
Mm, mm,
eventually won it. At any other club, he would have been long gone. He's been there for like 9 years, and if you look at the trophies that he has been and how big of a club Liverpool is, people might say actually Klopp underperformed. But that is not true. I mean, like, given where we were, as a fan, I'm like, wow, this is like one of the best managers that we have. But back to Sundowns, my point is that there are many ways to skin a cat, and fear and being ruthless, it's not Sundowns' way. You can see whenever one of our team players scores, you can see the brotherly love that is there. People actually embrace one another. There's some sense. So we don't have to be villains. We're always the good guys, but we will always destroy you. And if you want to see us being ruthless, it will only be based on goals. And some people may call it being ruthless, but some we say we showed you respect and we showed you professional courtesy, and that is why we didn't take it easy on you. But maybe you were like maybe referring to killer instinct. I didn't want to put words into your mouth. Sometimes, yes, we don't have it, and that is what we need in order for us to win CAF. But right now, the things that we lacked in the yesteryears of playing in the CAF competition, I feel like Rulani has ticked most of the boxes, if not all of them, because you can see there's a sense of maturity. And for the first time in many years, man, Sundowns is not a naive team, because we knew Hori in the past, like when you go to Simba, no, like you won't get the best accommodation. Joining had to learn the hard way. They got whatever in their food, there was gas in their hotel rooms. We've been through that. Hence why when we travel in Africa, we get our own G6s, we get our own people to look for accommodations for us. We bring our own chefs, we bring our own water. So we can't say, ish, we didn't play like this because of what. So we learn. And the reason why I'm pointing out those logistical milestones is because of it shows or Sundowns learns from their mistakes. And that is why we've adopted this new chameleon style of play. But I like what you said about us, man. Like, we've got this new thing of tenacity, man. Like, even when they score first against us, I always like to say, when you score, you actually invoke the demons in Sundowns. They want to actually show you, Hore, you shouldn't have done that. And that actually puts pressure on the opposition. So I'm happy. Like, I'm actually confident. I mean, like, Simba will do things. I mean, like, so younger, sorry. Yeah, they'll do things to their opponents just to put them off guard. But those things they've been done by their older uncles and brothers in Mazembe, Zamalek, and Ahly. And we've grown past them. So Rishabh, I wanna, if we had to lose this edition, I'll be heartbroken because we've done everything that needed to be done in order for us to win.
Uh, Agent, I want to come to you with the same question. Do you need to have a level of ruthlessness within a club in order to win the Champions League? And I mean it from the point of, you know exactly what is expected from you when you join Al Ahly. You know, Uti, if you don't win this thing, it might get you fired very quickly. The players understand, the club understands. Is the Champions League a do or die mission for Sundowns, or are we still a little bit too friendly with the requirement?
I think it's coming there. It's coming. They can see it now. Like I said, I think we're gonna give you a year or two. Then you must win it. Like I said, Rulani now is the season to win it. If he doesn't win it, AFL bought him some time. Next season is definitely his last. Because I think we're at a point where we'll be winning our signature or our symbol league title this season. So is it exciting? It is exciting to win, but I won't jump up and down and say, yes, we have won the league,
Yeah.
It's a celebration, yeah, sure, and a cup, no disrespect, Nedbank, okay, sure, we won, I'll celebrate, obviously, but it's not the same as when I celebrated AFL, he's different, so I think we are coming to that realization, and coaches now are going to be saying, hey, my guy, you can win Nedbank, it's fine, it's okay, you have to win the league for sure, but you must win AFL, you must win CAF, so I think it was, I wouldn't say it was a bad idea that we lacked that ruthlessness, I think it was something that had to be built up, we didn't think about would win CAF anytime soon before Pitso came, and Pitso came and he had some credit in the bank, hence we could afford to go 4 years without it.
Yeah.
And even though he left voluntarily, it's not like we fired him for it, And then people say the Paris game was the one that made us to reshuffle, but that's heresy, because I think it was also performance being knocked out by Petro, that not winning M10-8 also. Those kind of things were like, hey, my guy, Mangoba, you have to step down. Let's get some proper structure so that you know who we fire. Because I don't know if Mangoba saw it as demotion or he saw it as a compliment, saying, we can afford to have you as the safety net. You have that kind of experience that now you want proper structure. You know how to look for and say, Mr. My guy, you are fired now because you've not achieved this, this, and this, But when you have you as the safety net, you're like, even if Urulani goes, it's fine, So I think it's building up to that. And Urulani, I think we got knocked out. The core of them knocked out quarterfinals, and then Urulani last season went to the semi-finals. So we can see there's progress, And I think he'll buy himself more time if he goes to the final,
So then, do you think that it's something that, just in general, do you think that it's something that you need to have as a club to win this, or can you win friendly? And I think I'm asking from a South African perspective, where we've long complained about certain countries making you have to drive 6 hours to your accommodation, and your accommodation's bad, and da. And it seems that they're doing everything in their power to try win this thing. Is it maybe just a cultural thing that us as South Africans, we really do want to win South Africanly, friendly, nice?
Yeah, I think ruthlessness now, when you put it in that format now, it's sometimes I wish, man, they can go and put these guys in Sunnyside, eh? Or Hillsborough. That's for them. Sunnyside, so that I think they'll be close to the venue also, eh? And then you make them train, I don't know where, but make them train there, But maybe it's not in our culture, and maybe it won't reflect well on the CAF president now. He has that burden on him now, But what I'm enjoying, they're like, okay, so it looks like we can't treat you bad, right? So it means we'll do our dirty tactics on the field. I don't know if those ball boys for Ahly ever do things that we saw, that we see at Sundowns, I think with them is the fans doing those things and the intimidation outside. So with us, we're like, okay, outside you can't do those things, but inside, we will treat you, well, in terms of the ball boys. At some point we hit the mirrors, at some point we have a afternoon games, and it's very interesting that our next game, it will be also at afternoon. I mean at night instead of the afternoon. I stand to be corrected. I haven't checked the Tanzanian weather, but I think maybe it's more hotter than us. So maybe playing them in the heat will give them. It will negate. Yeah, it will negate that advantage that we want to have. So I think those are the kind of, I wouldn't say soft, but soft dark arts that we have mastered, and intimate, and Rulani's press interviews, saying all kinds of things. So yeah, I think we have learned to do things the other way around.
Okay. Let me bring Mhlaba. Mhlaba, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good.
I'm good. Mhlaba, we're talking about Sundowns' game tomorrow versus Yanga. But in this part of the conversation, we're talking about if Sundowns can do it again. And the question I'm asking is, do you need a level of ruthlessness, within your team in order to go win the Champions League? If you think about Al Ahly, if you go coach Al Ahly, you know that first port of call is for you to go win the Champions League. And if you don't win it, they'll fire you. There's no, they don't mind, and they'll go find somebody else and they go do that. So it becomes a goal for the club that is unmissable. Is CAF Champions League that for Sundowns right now? And do you need ruthlessness to go win these Champions Leagues?
We should OT because if you look at Sundowns now, they're competing at CAF every season. But then, however, you cannot compare them with Al Ahly because Al Ahly have been doing this thing for decades now. But I would say it's a process with Sundowns because I think where we are right now, we're at a stage whereby we cannot take anything less than qualifying for a quarterfinal for us. I think that's how ruthless we are. That's how whereby if we don't make it to a group stages, that's where we can say maybe we can fire the coach. So for us right now, we're at the stage whereby because we when Pitso came, we were at the stage whereby we need to qualify for Champions League each and every season. So I think now we have passed that stage. We've done that. We're qualifying for this tournament, but then now we are a step ahead. Now whereby we're saying we must make it out of the group stages, whereby we are doing that now. So now I think we should go step by step, whereby we're saying now it's going to semi-final, final each and every season. And then maybe after then, that when we can say now Sundowns need to be ruthless now, whereby we're saying if we lose this thing, maybe we can fire the coach. But then currently we're not at that stage whereby when we can say we lose this thing now, we need to fire coach and all that. No, we still are in a building process. I mean, it took Al Ahly also many years to be at that stage whereby they can say if a coach fails to win this thing, then they need to go. So we still young at this thing, but then we are headed in the right direction when we'll eventually arrive there whereby it's CAF or nothing. But then right now it's still a building process whereby we need to play final, semi-final each and every season, play final, lose here and there, maybe win once, next season maybe go to the final again, lose. But then when time goes on, we will arrive to that stage whereby we're saying we need to be ruthless, and then we'll take nothing less than winning the Champions League. But then so far, I think we cannot say if we lose it, then the coach must go. But then if a coach fails to say qualify for Champions League, fail to come out of the group stages, then definitely at that stage the coach needs to go, because we over that stage right now. Now we are more out of the semi-final and the final team.
Is it a South African cultural thing that we're a little bit more friendly, man? We're a little bit more, I don't want to use the word, but fair. We want to do things the right way. Whereas when you go into other African countries, and this now in general, they have that thing of we need to do everything possible to win. If it means putting you in a bad hotel or making you drive for hours, lasers, what. Is it just the South African thing that we don't have that in us inherently?
What do you mean? To say that we win by all cost in Africa
to win at all costs. Is it just a cultural thing, Jay, with us that we're not those type of people?
Yeah, well, it's a difficult one, because now you look at our country as well, where we coming from, the background, the history, the apartheid and all that. So it plays a role whereby we host other African teams to our country. So there is that Ubuntu. It's within us. So it's I think it come automatically whereby we have to be accommodative when we have visitors in us, unlike the other countries. But then I think it's who we are, and then looking at how where we come from as a country, So I think it's that, and we believe and then understand what we have to play fair and then play football and all that. Because even other teams, not Sundowns only, they when they host these other African countries, you never hear stories whereby we mistreat other teams and all that.
Yeah.
Even Orlando Pirates, when they host other teams, you never hear such stories. So I think it's who we are as a country. It's not a matter of it's Sundowns or Pirates. It's a general.
Hey, Patu, are you? There's just
You
some
know,
feedback there.
Yes, I'm okay.
I wanted to jump on something before Pato comes in,
Okay.
that Umhlave is saying, which is very interesting, that these levels say is baby steps, At some point the Chiefs, you go a season without lifting silver where you are gone. There's no you played well, no, you're gone, Now they have regressed to man. Try win a cup, build, do this,
Build
do this,
project.
And it tears is like I said, another example would be maybe let's say Amazulu, the flight now is be in the top 8. If you're not in the top 8, maybe you'll get fired, But at some point they must say, man, you must be in the top 4. Now you must go, So I think it's progression, I think I like how Mhlabi put it. Yeah.
Patu, what's your take on this? Do you have to be ruthless in order to win the Champions League? And is Sundowns in a place where they have to be ruthless?
My take on this point, Mr. Oti, is last year Sundowns was ruthless on attack and not balanced at the back, which sort of exposed Sundowns to the attacking team. So when it comes to management, I do not. I mean, I understand why, as we are still a bit new in the competition. If you are, one has to look at the other teams. Why that Ahly than us. So I'm happy as looking at the long term. As if let's say Rulani like last year failed to win the Champions League and was fired, then it was going to be again starting afresh where they have to look at the new coach. So for me it is better for now the focus for me is to win to qualify for the Club World Cup more than winning the Champions League. Even I'm happy to get it this year.
Okay, but do you think that culturally, our friendliness is something that might hold us back when it comes to competition?
When it comes to us South Africans, yes, as a country across, if you can go across to all the tribes, we pride ourselves to Ubuntu, which again will be against what Sundowns stand for and what South Africans stand for.
Okay. Let me bring in Kuma. Kuma, I never got to ask you the culture question. Do you think that our cultural stance as a people, that we have this Ubuntu, that we are all of that it holds us back at times? Because when you go out into continental football, hey, people are willing to do things to you in order to win those things. Does it hold us back a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, that's how we got colonized by Jan van Riebeck in the first place. I'm kidding. No, man. You know what? Ubuntu can also be a weapon, right? Ubuntu, if you have Ubuntu, don't ever lose it. If people are not doing it, when as a person that have it, you have to remember, like, do not expect it from someone else. Just do things out of the goodness of your heart, right? And when you win, I'm a person that believes in good karma, chakras, and stuff like that. But so when you win properly, you win on the football pitch, right? And if people are using dirty tactics, they're trying to crush your spirits in order for them to secure 3 points, that is on them, right? But also having Ubuntu, that doesn't mean that you have to be naive as well. You need to take countermeasures as a team that has Ubuntu, like how Sundowns is doing. Do things on your own. Don't rely on anyone for anything other than safety. Then you're sharp. So you can just play the game that you practice and you're getting paid for, the game that you know, then you're going to go all the way.
Okay, well, if I can just give my thoughts. My thoughts are very simple. I think we're still grappling with that thing of should you be ruthless? Should you be cold, heartless in some cases? And I think in local clubs, we were fine with it. Overseas, we demand a lot more. Like if you're a Real Madrid fan, you understand that if a coach is signed for Real Madrid, you know that your number one job, your number one requirement is to go out and win the Champions League. We know it's something that is expected. We know that Ahly, for example, the moment you're hired for them, the bar is so high, and that's why you need to go and win these things. Pitso won 2 Champions Leagues for Ahly, and still it was not enough for people. And obviously there's other factors that come into this. But in general, if you go coach that side, you know exactly what you needed to do, right? So the reason why I'm asking is that I wonder if Sundowns will at some point, I don't want to say evolve. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I wonder if Sundowns will get to a point where, you know, it's a must. It's a need. It's something that you need to have. Like, for example, if Rulani was to lose the league, I'd imagine a lot of conversations would be had about him and probably be fired because the league is a must. Now it's a given. It's a requirement, right? So does Sundowns get to the point? And if it doesn't get to that point, when you're competing with guys who are there, with teams that are going, listen, guys, we don't care who you are, where you come from, what coach you are. You can come from Europe, you can come from Africa, you can come from wherever. You need to win this. You look at the Wydad coach. He was very bright. Everybody was talking about him at the beginning of the season. Adil Ramzi. Everybody was talking about him. Good, you know, he's such a young, bright coach. Hey. Loses the AFL. Is kind of shaky. That side, go Wydad, and he's gone immediately. And that maybe speaks to the standards of theirs. And then when you look at it in general, these other countries are willing to do whatever it needs to happen, and it's been repaid because they win a lot. And maybe this might change in the future, but they win a lot, which is why I was asking this question. Kumo, I'm going to come to you again. Now let's get into the actual game. You've played the games. Abo Loch have been playing within the league. Abo Esquivel have been playing within the league. Abo Sirino have been having a lot of game time for Mamelodi Sundowns. We saw the Avengers coming out for Bafana. How would you set up the team for this game versus Young Africans? Are you doing wholesale changes and bringing in the AA team, or are you sticking Abo Loch?
Well, I would like to believe Lodge, although he's new, he's part of the new AAA team. I mean, like, he's on form. Why would I want to take that away from him going forward? Especially with our strikers on a sabbatical. Well, hopefully on Monday when Jesus comes, resurrects, they'll also resurrect their goals. I don't know. So it's difficult because of when you look at Sundowns players, bro, everyone can walk in there and they all bring different elements, especially knowing how Simba plays. And in order to predict the Sundowns lineup, it's amazing. Even I don't know who they're gonna face. I can give you my favorites, you know, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna start. As opposed to younger are much more predictable because you know who their strongest players are and their best 11 is. So I think Rulani will go according to that and check which players he has at his disposal that he can utilize. And the great thing about having so much headaches, because we know our South American contingent is well rested, and also the players that were playing for Bafana are on form. Hardly almost actually every one of them actually played a decent game. Some were more exceptional, but they can also bring that form coming into this game tomorrow. So it can be a game of halves. It will obviously Temba, given his age and everything, he won't start, or he might start, but he might not. He won't end. He's gonna be changed. But I don't.
Oh, he's
If
suspended, by the
memory
way. He's suspended, Kumo.
or suspended for what?
Yeah, accumulation of cards.
Oh wow! Then George is definitely starting in place of Temba then. In Ale Esquiva, Rowan.
Yeah.
Or is
And
it gonna
then,
be? Mm.
and then Kumo, but then I want to ask you, rotation has been such a big conversation about Sundowns. Maybe not inside Sundowns, but about Sundowns. About rotating these players and some of the struggles perceived struggles that Sundowns has had over the past few games. Do you think that now when we get into the important games, the big games, the knockouts, the end of the league, you might look at some of the cup competitions. Are you going to continue rotating, or is it now time to settle on that first team and play them more?
You know what? One of the advantages of rotating a squad, I don't remember touching on it, right? It keeps the players hungry, and most of the players will want to prove themselves and say, I deserve to be in the squad ahead of player A, you know? Reason why I say that, as much as we know it's a different scenario when you train with the same players, but as players they don't have game fitness. It's not, but it's only one game. I understand I'm trying to be controversial, but it's not much of a difference. You know what I mean in terms of like game time, because even if they train amongst themselves, I believe our squad is that quality. They don't lose anything, as if like playing a game with a Kaizer Chiefs, for example. I mean, like you play against mediocre players. So if you train amongst yourself, you still play against the best, even though there isn't that much intensity. So we need rotation. First of all, our squad is aging. Only now we've got young players. Like right now, we've got so many injuries. You're always on stage what like with some load shedding announcement team, because I don't even know what stage means, you know. So rotation, especially it's needed, especially the amount of games that we play. I mean, like after playing here, I think you're gonna play 3 games, bruh, in the space of 7 days. So we need fresh players, we need quality. So as much as I understand that you guys want chemistry, you want fluidity, but in our situation, it will never happen again, especially if you want to compete in CAF and also domestically. Now that with the inception of the FIFA Club World Cup coming in next year, my brah, you're going to get more people, and the squad needs to be rotated in order for it to be worth. Think of it like a high performance car, BMW fan. Every 15,000, it needs to be serviced, right? So the same concept, it applies at Sundowns as well.
Marautansa a filter more this time, next time while the petrol filter. Is that not the issue here? That it's not wholesale changes.
Mara, get about no air filter, it makes a difference. I wonder if you change your air filter, you're spending less on petrol, and the air intake makes your car go faster. So it's a difference.
Okay. Guys, the voices you are hearing come from my members. We have a WhatsApp group. This is where the call is happening from. We have conversations like this every single day outside of the show. So if you want to be part of that, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then you'll gain access to the WhatsApp group. And there are smart people speaking. There are smart people there every day that we go back and forth with, and you can learn and grow. And it's a really great community to be part of. Agent, 2 questions. How do you set up for Yanga tomorrow? Do you foresee a lot of the players that have been playing continuing, Bo Zungu, Bo Sirino, Bo Lodge continuing, or is there a quote unquote A team that's going to come in and play these games? And to jump on that, the second question is then when you come down to these tough situations, we're playing knockouts, it's the end of the season, it's important games. Are we going to see more rotation, or are you worried about what rotation did over the past few games? Can you risk doing that now?
I think to start with the last one, this will be a clever rotation, eh? If we have a CAF game let's say you have a CAF game next week and you have a game on Wednesday, the first team has to play on Wednesday, if maybe there's 2 weeks or 3 weeks in between, then you can do a rotation. But I think now every player that has to use on the starting lineup has to play the penultimate game, So I think that has to be the way to rotate now, so that at least they can keep the engines running. To your question on the starting lineup, I think is going to be the Avengers, who start. I think Shamlil will start. Obviously, Zwane is a question: who do you replace Zwane with? Is it going to be Esquivel or is it going to be Lodge? But then Lodge has a tendency of drifting out wide. Hopefully they've took that out of him, but probably I'll take Esquivel there. And then it's a question of Umudiba and AB. Would you play Umudiba there in this kind of atmosphere? Maybe home, yeah. But I think for me, I would play AB. I think we play better with AB there, or maybe it's just my bias. I don't know. And then another question is Uzungu.
Yeah.
He is sloppy, and you can't afford that kind of sloppiness at this high level, at this stage of competition. So, do you partner Ulibusa and Grant and have normal wing backs, Udivine and maybe down that side, and then you can afford to play Umudiba in the midfield. I think for me that probably works if you don't want to play AB, or maybe if Coetzee is available, but then how fit is he?
Yeah. I was going to ask you.
That's another question again. But I think he did play last game, so probably he's a bit fit enough, but you'll never know with Coetzee, But I think for me, the safest option would always be maybe Divine that side, Motaung that side, Libusa and Grant in the middle, even though this is a kind of Umvala game, but then Umvala has proven time and time again that at this time of the competition, man, we need him, but it's not a risk worth having. And then Mudiba there because we have Udivine to cover him, and then Alende, Mokwena, Shalulile, Sereno. The other one, I don't know. Lodge, perhaps, because maybe Mudiba can play the Zwane role. I think we saw it happening the other time. Or was it AB who was playing that bit of interlink? I think it was AB.
Yeah, it was AB.
I think I'll still play Mudiba there and then have Lodge out wide. Yeah, so I think for me that would be my 11. Sereno, Shalulile, Lodge is my front three. Umudiba, Mokwena, Alende, 4-3-3, 3 in the middle, and then Divine Libusa, not Zungu, but Grant, and then Motaung.
Rivero?
Is he back?
Is he back? Oh, I forgot there's Rivero.
I think so. I'm not sure. I have to check.
Yeah, but I think this for sure. And then obviously if Rivero is back there, then you drop Usereno and then put in Rivero there, because I think Lodge maybe can offer something, that extra factor, against the crowd, where maybe you're not. I think we'll still have the majority of the possession, but maybe they're going to be a tough nut to crack, and with 60,000 yellow fans behind them, not our kind of yellow, but that kind of yellow, maybe it might just come down to an X factor, and I think maybe Lodge can give us that, yeah.
I just want to know from you guys, sometimes when I hear us speak, when we're breaking down the Sundowns, is there an illusion of depth? But you don't have an out-and-out Shalulile replacement if Ribeiro's injured. You don't have an out-and-out replacement for Themba Zwane. At the back, sure, there's people who can come in, but we always go to Bomvala. Is there an illusion, Kare, that there's depth, but maybe it isn't as strong as we think it is?
It
Okay.
is strong, and the only places I think we lack depth in, it's our strikers, because we only have 3 recognized strikers in Shalile Ribeiro, and the other one is forever in George Mokaro Hospital. So, which is Nasir. But when you look at our playmakers, our midfielders, our wingers, we've got so many in abundance. Even people are saying that we're killing off the competition in PSL, like there was ever a chance anyway. But also, when you look at we've got so much that we actually convert our midfielders to defenders. That's how much depth we have. Like Zunga Shifa gets central defense midfielder now, and he was playing as a number 6 or what. So at the back, resorted. Goalkeeper department, resorted. We even load up our goalkeepers out there for game time. So I think illusion. The problem now is that when we complain, of course we've got 40 players again, but the problem is that I'm gonna contradict myself, and it's not because I'm a Wutu wanna be, it's only because I'm trying to prove a point. The reason why people question our depth is because when we play our so-called COB team, and we lose, we say no, is because of the fluidity. There's no chemistry there. Then people come around and say, Mara, you're supposed to have enough players to take on the role. Yes, we do, Mara. Most of our people are recent signings. Most of our people are also coming back from rehab, and most of our people haven't really played together. So that is what we always cry about. The Maragere people don't want to listen to our cries. They think that we make mistakes. But we do have depth across everything. But hey, like striking department, it's a problem. That we need to. I think we should get my ruler back, man, for on loan for this season, and then Retlava sharp.
Okay, agent.
Hi, yeah. So it's an interesting thing, but I think I blame the system, because our system, most of the time, if not all the time, will have bulk of the possession, So, and we build from the back. So, do we need a natural defenders, in the mold of like hard tacklers, hard people, or maybe we assume that because if we can have Uli Busa available, Grant available, Grant available, who else is initially recognized, Mvala there, we have to play only one of them because another player has to be a midfielder, So when you go into the market, that area is neglected because of the system that you play, and then you go further up the pitch and we're like, we don't play crosses necessarily, we play more with a false 9, so it's not like you're gonna ever have 2 strikers playing at the same time, so is it prudent to have 2-3 strikers lined up, only one of them is probably gonna play, and strikers are like keepers. You can't keep chopping and changing them. So I think that's another problem of the system. That okay, fine, I have Shalulile. If Shalulile is not there, you can place the false 9 because even if he's there, we ask him to do a false 9 things because we ask him to go out wide, ask him to drop in. He is playing a false 9, but even though he has a striker's instincts that differentiates him from Awisterino Lodge, who want to do intricate passes there and there, patterns, everything. And he knows he doesn't have that, so he plans to shoot. That's the only difference in terms of how he plays, and when any other player plays there, he has a striker's instincts. So do we need maybe 2-3? Maybe retrospective, you can say maybe, yeah, because now look at him now, but then the other one has to understand that probably I'm going to be on the bench and probably I'm going to be in the stand.
But aren't these problems, not problems, I don't want to say these problems, the champagne problems, but aren't these problems also born from Woolworths, man? Aren't these problems also born from the way the rotation was done earlier in the season? Because the way I see it, and I could be wrong, I don't think Rulani is rotating. I think he goes for long stretches with a certain team. So Divine Lunga, for example, has seen a lot of games in a row, and then Uzungu has seen, I guess, a lot of games in a row. Whereas I'd imagine rotation would have been to bring in the other guys. And what happens when I need Rivaldo Kutsia and he's been out?
But now you're asking a different question now.
No,
because
that's why
we're on the depth.
Yeah, it goes back to the depth question, because for me it feels as though it's not depth in that there's players who are ready to come into play. It's depth it's depth that there's people I trust.
No, because I mean, like, if even if rotation was done right, who'd a natural replacement for Shalulile, who is a natural replacement there in the center? I mean, for Zwane, so we do have, like I said, the two problems that I do know that are systematic. Then there's one where, like, hey man, we have tried, is the Zwane role. We have tried by all means to replace him, but we can't or find a solution to him. That's the one solution that we face, and maybe now when we are signing, because you look at our signing, look at Lodge. Not saying that Lodge is not a bad player, obviously improved the squad, but do we necessarily need a Lodge into Sundowns? You look at Otesh, do we necessarily need a Tesh? Esquivel, maybe, like you're saying, we are trying to replace Uzwane, then maybe that perhaps is needed, So you have three players who I can say that trying by all means maybe to replace Uzwane, Lodge, Esquivel, and Matthews, and are trying to solve one problem,
So that's why I was saying that it feels like it's depth. Yes, there's players there, but when you look at it, you guys have a lot of can't be replaced guys that are going to get a lot of game time, and when they're not there, you can tell that they're missing, if that makes sense. I think I'm coming at it from that point of view, that if Allen and Mokwena and Williams and Zwane and Shasha has been on and off this season, but Shasha, Mudiba, if those guys have to play every game, or you have to try fit them in every game when it gets hot, is it really depth?
Yeah, the thing again with depth, before I let Kuma then, is you must always have a spine. You can't rotate. There must always be a core which controls everything. Like Williams, it has to be Mokwena, and then it has to be Uzwane. That's a straight big bone. So yeah.
And then Allen next to them too, because he's very important.
Yeah.
Kuma, what do you think about this conversation about depth? Like, I'm not saying that you guys don't have players or that your players are not good. That's not the conversation I'm having. The conversation I'm having is that it seems as though Rulani doesn't necessarily rotate. He pulls until something breaks and then he'll make the change. But there's 4 or 5 players that are always in the starting lineup. Is that real rotation? Is it real or depth?
Yes. Yeah, I would like to also retweet on the point that agent said, like, you want to have a spine, especially in the defense, because the more the coach you can add, the more of an understanding the team is, and it becomes core. But it's not only us, man. I'm gonna use Liverpool as an example again. We have that. I get that if you look at it like on a dictionary terminology, it means more, a lot of people, personal or whatever, more. So we feel it when Salah is not there. We felt it when Alice said, okay, Canada is doing great. But we feel it like when who's our core people there? when Arnold is not there. You can feel it okay for, and as much as Connor Bradley is trying, but he doesn't have those passes that we need to penetrate or one so Salah can latch onto. You understand? So, and the same goes for Sundowns. As much as we've got brilliant players, but Zwane is Zwane, Brian. Every team has their special people. We've got Mokwena, we've got Zwane. We feel it when okay, Williams last thing Onyango does a great job, but we do have our own special people, and every team suffers it. Like, what is PSG without Mbappe? I want head to him. Hey, Rodrigo as the Manchester City, even the brain is not there. Bazama wo the brain, Bazama wo feel so there. I want to come and try to pick up the slack, but there's something missing there. And the other reason why we don't see the depth that Sundowns says is because that we are accustomed to a certain play, to a certain system. So obviously, when someone like an Esquibal, he could be playing phenomenally, or a Lodge does play phenomenally because of we are used to those clever passes that Tembas Wani makes. We're like, Marapila Pila, this Sundown system doesn't work, ne? But in actuality, it's actually better. I'm not saying it is, but it could be better, but because we are so accustomed to Zwani's way of playing, we think, actually, more we are lacking something. And which is not the case, guys. We have that, and yeah, I don't know what to add.
Let me bring it Msabe. What do you think about this conversation we're having about it depth? That you guys have a lot of players, but it seems as though there's also equally a lot of players in the starting lineup that can't be sacrificed or can't be put aside. And maybe when Rulani rotates, it's not necessarily a full rotation. He plays players in long stretches. So Zungo will play 6 games in a row. Divine Lunga, all of those guys that have come in, Boloch. What do you think about the rotation, and what does it say about the depth? Because it seems like he doesn't trust everyone, or he doesn't have that many players that he trusts.
Look, Rulani said he doesn't believe actually in rotation. So what rotation does to his team, he loses the synergy when he brings say changes of 6 to 7 players in a team. So what you will normally do, you will try not to rotate, but then due to the fixtures that we have, he's forced in a way to rotate players. So hence you see some of the players they will remain in a team. You will find an Allende playing a Nedbank Cup when playing the lower team. So it's he's still figuring out how he's gonna handle this thing. But then he's not a fan of rotation. But then his arm sometimes is being twisted by the fixtures that we have. It's forced to rotate even though he doesn't want to rotate. But then with Sundowns, on how I see it, we've got quality everywhere. Anyone that we place, I don't look at as rotation as per se, unless maybe we're playing the DDC players. But then every player that's signed by Sundowns is quality, and then they are capable. They are starter anywhere else in the PSL, the players that we have at Sundowns. So it's not necessarily really a rotation. But then, however, you need people are playing together. You need that back four that they know each other. Getting to formalize themselves. That synergy. So yeah, it's a tricky one when it comes to Rulani, but he tries, he tries to play other players because it's not nice also as well to stay the whole season not playing. So he feel for those players as well. So he will try to rotate here and there, but then he said himself that he's not a fan of rotation. But yeah, it's a difficult one for him and Sundowns.
Well, yeah, that's all I was asking. It's not even to, like I said, I feel like it's champagne problems. I feel like it's Woolworths problems. It's not really that big of a deal if we're looking at it. I just wanted to know that when you get into the tough spaces, will it still be a thing that you can do to have Allender play? Will it still be sustainable to have Allender play so many games and Mokwena say play so many games and these other guys play so many games and put that on their legs when you've got such a big squad? And I think Rulani's idea about rotation and how he feels about rotation, you can see some of what's happening. Agent, how do you feel about the chameleon? Now that we are so many games into the season, what are your general thoughts about this chameleon way of play that Rulani has brought in? Looking back on it.
It's a crocodile now. It's no longer a chameleon, eh? But anyways, jokes aside, eh? I think I'm not used to this kind of piece when I'm speaking, hey? I know someone, I'll have to respond to someone saying something, but anyways.
That's why.
And you have to misquote someone and say you misquoting me for fun.
It's fun like this when now I have to think, and give proper responses to the question and not be direct. But anyways, I think it's a simplistic view, when you're talking about a model, it's not what reality is. It's just a simplistic view holding other things constant, So what I'm talking about is a model, because I think if it was as simple as I'm making it to be, then every team probably would be winning. Sundowns wouldn't have gone this long without losing,
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But the way, like I said, for me, it's no longer the chameleon. What is happening now? What is happening is we have a midfielder who's going to play as a centre back pairing, which allows the other overlapping one, the fullback, Mudiba or AB, to go up. He slots in, What that does is, usually you would have what you call a progressive midfielder, He's one that is allowed to take the ball from the defense and gives it to the attackers, But then when you're building up, taking a player from the midfield, the reason why you have a left back invading is to create numerical advantage in midfield, So when we are adding one and subtracting one, you haven't done anything, So the best solution is bring in an invading midfielder, comes in, your progressive midfielder stays in also, and already have a progressive defender / midfielder who can collect the ball from deep and then give it to that midfielder in the midfield. He doesn't have to drop deep. So hence you always have Mokwena, Allender, Tshwane, Mudipa, all of them in the midfield. So you have that advantage. That was the one part of the chameleon, which I think was very innovative and very smart of him. Another part of the chameleon is, guys, you don't have to beat teams 6-0 or whatever. Get a goal, slow the game down. That's all you have to do. Get a goal, slow the game down. Let's conserve energy. We don't have to run around and chase a lot of scores. And that is a risky game to play because, like I said, it's high risk, high reward. The reward of it is because you're conserving energy in most games, it means lesser injuries and it means more interplay. You're conserving energy through passing, you're improving your rondos in real life, so that helps improve your technical ability in terms of passing. So I think that is another thing, conserving energy. Like I said, the backside of it is because you're not killing off games, teams will always feel like they have a chance, and more often than not, they will have that chance, whether they convert it, whether is it because of the strong defense or is it because they just bad decision, combination of both, And another thing is also, like I said, because you've pushed a progressive midfielder into midfield, and you have Ulibusa and a progressive midfielder, they make a back three with Williams. I think that's another thing where now we have the newer role, at Bayern, It's kind of different from the Allison and the, what is this guy's name in Man City? No, in the other one, man.
King,
No, is Allison for Liverpool and the other one, Edison,
Oh, Edison, yeah.
If you look at them, they're a bit different from the Neuros. They're super keepers, yes, and they're good on the ball. But if you look at Neuer's position, most of the games is high up the pitch, Williams is not that high up, yes, but he's also he forms part of the back three, If you look at Allison and Ederson, you barely see them in between defenders, So I think that also brings that confidence into Williams as part of the chameleon. So I think that's it, really,
But is the chameleon predictable now? I think it was very innovative in the beginning, and Sundowns was beating people a lot like that. But now it feels like there comes a time where the chameleon becomes a crocodile, as you said, and they start doing predictable things over and over again, especially versus things like a low block, a simple low block.
Yeah, there is, because of monotony, it is bound to be predictable, But like I said, the question of, you might know what is happening, what Man City will do,
Yeah.
But the question is, can you stop it? That is the bigger question, So I feel like they've mastered it, and even if a team loses coming, still they can't stop it, I think I was watching an interview. I'm forgetting, was it Super Sports? I'm forgetting who, but I think it was Super Sport, And the guy was relating that, hey guys, I'm tired. Hey, it's not a child's play to run around the ball 90 minutes, So I think there's that element that, hey, I know I'm going to run, even if you practice the Highlands with when the Gamma way, climbing mountains and everything, it's going to be difficult. You can run, but 60, 70 minutes you'll be tired. So yeah, I think it's that.
Let me go to Kuma. What are your thoughts about the chameleon?
Yeah, the reason why it's called a chameleon, you should know what a chameleon does. It's an animal that adapts and changes and camouflages. So our chameleon style of play is not actually a style of play, right? It means that you adapt according to your opponent's style of play. Like if they go for a low block, you choose a different tactic. If they're going pound for pound with you, maybe you then do a low block. I'm not saying we do, but I'm just pointing out different style of plays. That is what the chameleon is essentially. I think it's great because of it shows Shuri the people at Sundowns and their players are taught to actually analyze the opponents, are taught to analyze the game and think of solutions on how you can actually win the game. Yeah, sometimes we do find opponents that stick to their low blocks, whatever style of play they choose to utilize against us, and get a draw if they're lucky, win on the brink with their one goal situation. But with the chameleon tactic that Sundowns is trying to implement everywhere they go, it shows the ambition and the quality and the football knowledge of Sundowns, because you can't confirm us, we might give you 6-0 driving and play beautiful shoe shining piano. Sometimes we just want to give the young people in our squad a chance to do mistakes and acclimatize to the football fraternity. Or sometimes we're not in the mood, we're tired, we just want to conclude the game and go back and play in the Nedbank Cup or the dstv premiership. So that's basically what our style of what the chameleon means to us, to Sunderland supporters and the club as a whole. So it's great. It shows it shows our resilience and tactics basically.
Okay. we've now had a bunch of games under our coach Rulani and the Chameleon. What are your thoughts about the Chameleon up to this point?
Look, chameleon football, it's very interesting, man. So far, I think it has done well. I mean, MTN 8 final. It won us the AFL. We number one in PSL with so many cap points. We currently on the quarterfinal of the CAF Champions League. Because of this chameleon football. What I like about this chameleon football, we don't concede a lot of goals when playing it. If you can see the many goals that you go, they are very, 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 very less. And also not only that we're not conceding, but then the chances of opponent to create chances when they're playing against us, they are very minimal, you know. So it's interesting because that's where we win the games. When we defend well, you stand a chance of winning games. So far it's producing results. There's nothing to critique about it because we're getting result. I mean the number speaks for itself. I mean, you look at the success that we have this season. So you can only say good things about the Cameroon football. My worry about it is the goalkeeper department because I think also is the core of this chameleon football, whereby Renan William, when we building up on a build up play, we play a very critical role. But then my problem is when he's not available, who's gonna deputize him and do exactly what he's doing? And when I look at our bench, your Onyango can offer us that, you know. We haven't seen your Peters, we haven't seen your February given a chance. So that's my only worry with the chameleon, because it's a Roland William orientated in a way, and then if he's not there, what's gonna happen? But then otherwise, it brought us so much joy, and I'm happy with the Cameroon football. And like we adopt everywhere. And what I like about it now, it's when we play away, we will go there and dominate the away opponent with we know it's not shy away, and we don't create a lot of, so you don't cringe a lot when you watch Sundowns playing away, because you know our opponent, they're not gonna create lots of scoring opportunities unless we make mistake at the back. So other than us making mistake, we don't create we don't give opponent chances to create opportunities. So it's very good and interesting, and so far I like it and I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Can I mention something quickly that I wanted to jump in? If you look at the diamond, in as much as we're scoring a lot, we're conceding a lot. We're too open, you know? And against PSL teams, it's fine, it's okay, you know? But in CAF, we are facing stronger opposition. When you make a game, a tennis game, IG, where that things like that happen because we are too open, we are too everything, you know? So, yeah.
Well, I want to come to you, Agent. Just to close off the show, how far do you think Sundowns is going to go this tournament? And then do you have any closing statements for today?
What does Ujina say? You should write it down, eh? This one, you should write it down. You know, and you can play me the clip again in the 18th or 19th of May, you know?
Yeah.
And I think people know that I'm not a traditional Sundowns fan. You know, I'm sober. You know, if this statement was coming from Kumo, you know, you'd say, as usual. But since it's coming from me, the sober Sundowns fan, the second star is coming. Simple.
Okay.
Yeah, and first of all, my closing statement. Guys, let's support African football, eh? Let's not just watch Sundowns. The games I think are live on Supersport and SABC on all platforms. You know, if you can watch TikTok, it means you can watch them on Facebook. What was it called?
SABC Plus, SABCSports.com.
Plus, you know, so yeah, man, let's learn African football, eh? This is our only football. This is our Champions League, you know. And let's grow this game of ours. You know how exciting AFCON was, and I hope all the games will be exciting. Tonight is Simba against Ahly, and we can see what the importance of support, what it has done to the Tanzanian football. Just imagine, I know with us maybe it won't get produce, but imagine in a scenario where you have Pirates and Chiefs in the quarterfinals. Just imagine that, All I know that may not happen in my lifetime, but maybe Pirates and Sundowns, imagine that, and imagine both of them not fixing each other, which means both of them could go to the semi-finals. Imagine a final between Sundowns and Chiefs, or Sundowns and Pirates. So let's support our guys. So yeah, that's my statement.
I feel like I must send this to Bobby. I think you're talking to the wrong people here, Agent. I'm fine. Cool. Where does Sundowns finish in this Champions League? And then your closing statements.
It's so funny because just now they said I was not sober-minded, but then the same person goes around and says, imagine Chiefs being in the quarterfinal. Can't they cut like that? Who's the one who's crazy? Yeah. Nightly. Yeah. But anyway, I'm never wrong with my predictions. I'm gonna agree with Agent. You're gonna go all the way to and win the second star. At least this one wouldn't have any controversy. But knowing the people from Nazurena and Orlando, they're gonna say, yeah, this league was working overtime. They're gonna find something. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, my closing statement is that almost. I almost had the show to myself until Agent. This Agent they can't imagine. The family arrangements almost. But anyway, it was a nice one, guys. Good Friday. Hope you guys enjoyed your Easter. Yeah, thanks, man.
No, thank you, Kuba. I hope you enjoyed yours too as well. Kave, what is Sundowns going to do in the Champions League this season, and what are your closing statements?
Look, listen, let me be sober as well, and just tell you that the team that's gonna win the Champions League this year, it's in Tanzania. So one of the 4 teams that are in Tanzania this weekend, it's one of the teams that going to win the Champions League, and the team that's gonna win this year's Champions League at Sundowns. Okay. So yeah, the champions are in Tanzania.
I was about to attack you before you finished.
Yeah, that final statement.
No, the champions are in Tanzania, man. So Simba and Yanga, they are second and third best team in Tanzania right now. Since the champions are in Tanzania. So yeah, let's watch the game tomorrow. Let's support the boys. Let's support the coach, the technical team. Let's support everyone, and I think they need us. They will need us more on the return leg. So Yanga is not gonna be an push over. So let's go there and support the boys, everyone, and then hopefully we come back to Loftus and we finish everything. Otherwise, yeah, thanks, OT, and everyone enjoy Easter weekend.
Cheers. I'm sorry, George. Is like where can you watch the game on Facebook on our phones again?
Yeah, I think I don't think they're gonna broadcast it. I'll have to just check, but I think it will for sure be available on SABC Plus. The Facebook page should be available there too, SABC Sport, and also sabcsport.com. That live, there's a live section there. Should be there as well. Can we
please ban this new old TV from bidding on rights? We can't. It's a mission, man.
Hey, Maraku. But it's free. Guys, okay. I just wanted to say, yeah, guys, I am not that hot about Sundowns winning the Champions League. I think they're gonna get to the final. Anything can happen at that point. The nice thing is that it has been announced that this year is going to be a 2-legged final. They always chop and change that thing, so it's been announced 2-legged final. So that could be a very good advantage for the teams that are going into that final. On the last part, I also want to say, guys, if we don't make African football and these things fun, Nobody else will. This is why these platforms exist. This is why I created this platform as well, so that we can also reclaim that part and actually take our things seriously when we speak about our local teams and also about the game locally in Africa. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm not going to say too much on that. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been the members only show. The members only show, if you don't know, these guys are in my WhatsApp group. They contribute financially towards the show. If you want to be part of them, go on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then I can let you in. This has only been a glimpse into the conversation that we have over on WhatsApp. So every Friday, a perk is that they get to choose the show, but the best perk is that 24/7, we all have access to each other. We all speak about football. We all love football. We teach each other about football, banter each other. We do all of those things. So I want more people to jump into there so we can learn from you guys as well. I'm sure there's a lot of very, very smart people, very, very in tune people, very, very great opinions that might not be able to get in on the normal show, but you can do it via WhatsApp, and we have incredible conversations over there that sometimes go days. Guys, every single conversation we've had is available on YouTube. We've had some great shows where we've spoken about a lot of different things and had some very, 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 very insightful talks. So if you want to do that and check it out, YouTube, they're all available there. Also, guys, I am a content creator. I do content. Please support my content. I put out videos almost daily. We do a live show every day, but also I have my own show that I do on Mondays and on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So please join there, watch, support, share. This is how we take our football forward. And I need your support in doing that too. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys then. I'll confirm if I'm going to be live tomorrow. Just look out for the statuses, but I'll confirm. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you to Brian for the gifts. Thank you to everybody that joined in the comments. Thank you, of course, to my members. Thank you to those who are watching on YouTube. If you have not followed, please do me the favor of following. If you have not subscribed on YouTube, please do me the favor as well there of subscribing. It's been great, guys. Thank you. Enjoy Easter weekend. Don't drink and drive. Let's make sure that everything is great. Bye, guys.